We are now.
Oh, Trent, you don't need to do your
Oh, I know.
voice.
I was just holding it there because I was reading.
Oh, okay. Are we good, Pearson?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, everyone, call out your tricks.
Oh, sorry. Cartwheel.
Oh my God! What are you even doing?
Sorry.
Okay, take
Again.
2.
It's a good time to have to start over.
Yeah, one line
First
in.
line.
Okay, everyone, call out your tricks.
Cartwheel.
We got belly flap.
Start again.
What is fucking happening?
Okay, I got it. We're good.
Okay, this is probably the easiest intro JD's written in a while, and we are struggling.
We got
Okay,
it.
Here we
got it.
go.
Okay, yeah, this is all in post. The whole thing. Just need to get this out. Okay, everyone, call out your tricks.
Cartwheel.
Belly flop.
Cannonball.
Backflip.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, no.
Hey guys, how'd it look? Did it look cool? Hey, who put this blood in my mouth? And all over the pool. Oh, I feel heavy.
All right. Which one of you is going to get him off the bottom of the pool?
I'll do it, but this is the last time.
You just dove into the 3-Bit Gamer Show. Welcome to the 3-Bit Gamer Show. I'm JD.
This is Peterson.
This is Trent.
And this is Jenna.
Dude,
And I
took
wish
us-
you guys would, Abby, don't encourage them. They didn't nail it. Barely got it out.
Absolutely.
nailed it. Listen, we did this intro because JD is he is finally revisiting his childhood by using a diving board once again. He said it's been
20 years, dude. 2 decades.
20 years since he's used a diving board. And so he finally got the chance, and we may have watched some YouTube videos on how to use a diving board because he forgot.
Straight up don't remember. It is not like riding a bike, folks.
I didn't know that there was like a how-to. Maybe that's why I always got hurt. I just thought you were supposed to jump.
Okay, well, do you walk to the end, stand there, and then jump off? Or do you run and then leap at the end, toward the end?
Depends
for
on
one
the
big
trick you're
final?
doing.
That's what I said,
That's what
Trent.
Peterson
That's
said.
what I said.
Oh, it depends on this. It depends on that. These experts
Well, yeah.
of the board. Flip wizards.
You get it now, though.
Well, I tried the running thing, didn't go well, bailed halfway through. I think it was set for like an 8-year-old girl though, because it was so springy. The second I stepped on it, it was doing this. It's like flopping like a pool noodle. So it was hard to stay on it. But next, it's not going to be the last time I'm there. I'm going to go for the rest
You'll
of the
get
summer.
it. Don't even.
It's like
don't even
my
worry.
personal Sandlot. I'm going to figure this out. Live from the 3-Bit Gamer Show. The news. Okie dokie. The news this week, as with every single week, is brought to us by Crave Cookies. Crave Cookies is this amazing cookie shop from coast to coast here in these great United States. If you're outside the United States, I'm sorry.
It's not international yet. So.
Yeah, Trent, when are you gonna put one on
Never.
like an Air Force base in Germany or something?
Never.
Dude, there was a Wingers in Germany for the longest time. Do you remember that?
Really?
Wingers, yeah.
Of all the places,
I want
ugh.
wingers now.
Everyone
me.
does. Anyway, but what we can provide you is Crave Cookies, and Crave Cookies has a amazing rotating menu every week. They have, it used to be like 4 flavors, seems like 5, 6. I go to the Crave.
12.
Yeah, I go to the one in Midvale. Sometimes it's like 20. I don't know. It's just like there's like an 8.5 by 11 that's like, oh, we also have these flavors today. I'm like, that's all your flavors. That's every cookie.
Do you have any other cookies that aren't on there?
Yeah,
Because every other day I'm like, Haley, make these. I have to come in and take pictures. Then you can give them away afterward.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
There's always just lots.
Yeah, so a million cookies. But because we've got the man, the myth, the legend, the cookie lord here, Trent. he knows what's coming next week. The unreleased cookie of the week menu. And Trent, do you have that pulled up?
I do. So
What
we
is
have,
coming out next week?
We have the peanut butter brookie. So
Ooh.
chocolate dough, peanut butter chips, peanut butter on top.
Mm-hmm.
The Cinnarol Pop Tart, which is one of my personal favorites. The kind of new, not really new, it's oatmeal chocolate chip, but it's got both semi-sweet and milk chocolate chips in it.
Smart.
Okay.
Then we got the Twix.
Nice. Oh,
And
Classic.
the chilled Biscoff Oreo.
Tell me, since you know stuff and I don't about this stuff, peanut butter that you use, is it like a confectioner's peanut butter? This is not a peanut butter you'd put on a sandwich, right? The peanut butter you put on top of this cookie.
It is.
It's legit.
Yeah, I've done. Well, it's melted.
Okay.
So we'll put the peanut butter in a bowl, heat it up, and then drizzle it on there because it's too thick otherwise. We've tried other ones, like Nutter Butter makes one that's kind of like a.
That's what I was gonna ask.
If it was one.
Yeah.
But this it tastes better to me. I don't know. The all of the other ones we tried were too grainy or they didn't have enough flavor. So this is actually, I think it's just Skippy peanut butter.
Dope. You get the real stuff with that. I love that. Okay. All right. Well, that is Crave Cookies. You go to cravecookies.com or you go to Crave Cookies, the store. You can check them out. They're all over the place. Get down there and get your cookie on. Move over, Indie Studios. The latest trend is studio co-ops.
This is fun. I like this.
Yeah, this is tight. This is an article that was in Slate about it's not the latest trend, but it is a notable trend that has been highlighted, especially with the crazy amount of crunch and turnover and just toxicity in general in the gaming industry. Cooperatives, which is to say the employees of the studio have equal ownership of the studio that they operate in. So then there were a number cited in this article. I'll just kind of go through it briefly. We had they mentioned GameChuck, which I don't know if you guys have heard of GameChuck. They made a game called Midwinter. It's like a stealth medieval horror. GameChuck is like a 17-person collective in Croatia, and every worker earns the same salary, shares the profits of the game they create. So that's kind of cool. And they reach all their decisions via anonymous voting on Discord.
So there's no hierarchy. It's just a bunch of developers.
Everyone's at the same level. Everyone's just like a partner, essentially.
No
one can get fired. You can vote people out. You can vote them off the island, but they really try not to.
Oh, I want that system.
Oh yeah.
You just really don't like it.
There's a few people that I have to work
You wouldn't
with
even
that I
have
would love to get voted off. I would
Yeah.
campaign for them to be out of here.
I've had coworkers, there would have been no campaign needed, no whipping needed. Those votes would have just been there. You could have called for a vote at any time. They would have just been out on their ass.
Man, I just got really excited about that. I'm going to see if I can implement that at my company.
Yeah, that sounds.
I want it to be like the surrender vote in League of Legends, where you're just sitting on Discord one day and it pops up on your screen. And you're just like, yes or no.
Go off the cuff.
Do you want to fire this guy? It's you, because you're an equal part of the team, so you get an equal vote, and you're like, no.
I want a.
Is it anonymous? I don't want everyone to know I said no.
But they'll know you're the one. No, they'll know.
They know.
Apparently, also the studio Glory Society that made Night in the Woods is a 7-person cooperative. Motion Twin, which you guys may be familiar with if you ever played or heard about Dead Cells, is an 8-person cooperative, and they have been as such for the last 20 years. It seems like Dead Cells is just some hit they had. It's made them like $1 trillion, but for the most part, yeah, it's just a co-op. So
interesting.
This is definitely not without downsides. The article does not ignore those downsides. There's obviously no HR to fire people that are being inappropriate or idiots. There's a lot of processes that have to be handled, obviously, by the members of the cooperative. But I think this is kind of an interesting and cool thing, especially for video games, which isn't always generally an artistic pursuit. And for a studio like, Motion Twin, you can just chug away making games that, make enough to pay the bills for 20 years. And all of a sudden you make a hit like Dead Cells and you're all millionaires.
Well,
Hey,
there's
you've
always
all
gonna
made
be
a ton of
ceiling,
cash.
right? Like you're not ever going to be able to make a big game like that.
Yeah.
But
So
Yeah, you're making little indies, not making a gigantic AAA Assassin's Creed or something, but
very cool.
yeah. That is
Yeah.
cool.
So I'm going to keep an eye out for this. I hope we see more gaming co-ops making indie games, because I would love to support that, knowing that like your dollar is going directly to each of these people equally. That's really a cool split. Give me one sec.
Make it a note. JD has to go to the bathroom.
freaking JD.
I had a barking dog. I apologize. I didn't want her just barking, going crazy. Okay,
I needed a new can anyway.
nice. You want to spin that up again? Diablo 4's Battle Pass won't give enough premium currency to afford anything in the shop. Dude, Peterson, did you dig into this? Like
Yes.
Okay, so the whole
Get you
thing,
close.
dude, this is so crazy. The whole thing is this. It's a so the Battle Pass gives you 666 coins or whatever this currency
Platinum.
is,
Yeah.
which they think, I'm sure, is very clever. And they're like, oh, it's like the devil. Haha, 666. So you can get these, but unfortunately, 666 coins is not enough to buy anything.
Nothing.
Even the lowest price item is 800 coins. So you have to complete 1 seasons of Battle Pass, the whole Battle Pass, which, if you guys aren't familiar with how this works, there's a bunch of little like checkpoints and like milestones along the way. So it's not like you just get 666 gold for the, was it 1,000 gold you spend?
You
How
gotta
much do you have to actually pay for the thing?
It said it's 1,000 platinum to
I
get
hate
there.
this so bad.
And but you can earn platinum if you max out the battle pass. It trickles in. So if you max out battle pass, you'd get 666 platinum, and then you see the math part of it.
Yep. Tell
so
us.
if you do that twice, right, then you'll have 1332 platinum, and then you will
Do it one more
get the
time.
battle pass for 1,000. Then you'll get your 666, and that will put you at 998 platinum. Two platinum shy. So you'll still have to buy it. It literally benefits you.
Seems
nothing.
deliberate. Seems deliberate.
It's real bad, you guys. This is pretty offensive how bad it is.
A common refrain that I keep saying over and over again, that I just don't know how we locked in on the battle pass system. Where we're like, this is the system that we're really gonna dial in really hard on. This is what the gamers want. One game did it, and nobody bothered to try anything different ever. They're like,
It worked. Why try?
We're gonna call it a battle pass, and
Yeah.
it's not like loot boxes. Which is like a simple, intuitive thing, like open a thing, and then like there's something inside of it. Which, even as much as they complicated that, it was still just opening something up, and it had something random inside, which is something that you've had in games time immemorial. But battle passes are like so unnatural and weird and conceptually kind of hard to wrap your head around, and yet it's the standard now.
So I kind of disagree, only if it's done right, because Fortnite does the battle pass right, I would say. Because if you max it out, you get enough V-Bucks to buy the next battle pass. So you pay for it one time. You pay the $10 or $8 or whatever it is one time, and you can get the battle pass every single season. But I will say Fortnite's battle pass is one of the best ones, because you are unlocking lots of skins, characters. You're unlocking all sorts of crap, right?
But if you don't have a lot of stuff to fill that out, you just end up stretching it out with bullshit, right?
Yeah,
Which is
and
like
so
what Overwatch did.
So yeah, Overwatch's was bad. I'm playing Omega Strikers a lot. Their battle pass is actually pretty miserable, because like most of the stuff is just not that interesting. because there's always like a free tier and a not free tier,
Yeah,
and I'm unlocking free tier stuff, and it is like,
still garbage.
I mean, that's fine, and the premium stuff is not that interesting, and so they don't do it very well. Obviously, some of these games don't have the capital to put out like dope skins all over the battle pass like Fortnite does. And Fortnite, that's the other thing. They want you to complete the battle pass. It's so easy. You have to play a lot, but it's not that hard. Whereas Omega Strikers, dude, I've been playing. Well, I got to check my time on this game. I bet I'm at almost 80 hours in Omega Strikers. I'm not even close to completing the battle pass.
You are disagreeing with my assessment that battle passes are a flawed system based on a single anecdote
I
that
said
you
if they're
provided a
done right.
counter example to in your whole little
Right.
spiel.
I'm saying if they're done right. You're saying they're like confusing and they're not. They're really easy. And like, because the point is they want you to keep playing. Call of Duty does the same thing.
I
You don't
guess
have to charge me
Overwatch
for
is-
that though. Just add more objectives. Then if I complete them, give me currency. Like that was the old way of doing it. This was just like a here. If you don't want to buy currency, you still can't earn it organically. You have to buy something to let you earn it, or whatever it may be, currency or items or whatever. I just hate it. Just let me earn stuff.
Does
Well, I mean-
Diablo even have good stuff for this, or are you just like?
I think what I saw is their battle pass is not that cool. In fact, it looked like I saw a different story that said the battle pass skins. It was showing a battle pass skin next to one of the premium skins.
Indistinguishable.
It looks like a different game. Like one looks like garbage and the other ones look like awesome
really?
and sick. Yeah, like it looks bad. So
Yikes.
yeah, so I don't know. I'm all for the battle pass. I don't mind it. But
So are players relieved that they can't afford it? They're like, oh, thank God, I don't want that.
Well, it turns out, Jenna, even if you can't afford it, you can still get tricked into buying it because there's one magical button in Diablo 4. If you're playing Diablo
this is so
4,
Blizzard too. This is so Blizzard.
and you try to click on to see your progress in the battle pass because you're chugging away or whatever. If you click the button right below that, which is bigger than the progress button, it immediately makes you buy it. It charges you.
Purchase the battle pass.
And it already has your credit card info because you had to buy Diablo 4 and like log in all this shit. So yeah, the second that you accidentally click, there's no confirmation modal. There's no like, are you sure? It just processes the transaction.
Buy the battle pass, one click. So
Tells
easy.
you to fuck yourself. Yeah, it's just that easy. So this happens to a couple streamers online, and they go ballistic on Twitter, and everyone's
This must
like,
be the
wow,
mark of the devil.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
we'll just
right.
give them 666 coins to make them feel better. They'll like that. So these streamers get so mad that they're essentially being like tricked into spending this money that the global community development director Adam Fletcher jumps on Twitter and says, "Hey, just had a powwow with the people on this post stream. We have a temp fix in the works that will at least ensure the cursor isn't defaulted there and will instead be defaulted on Season Journey." Yeah, what Peterson's face.
Oh
I
my gosh.
didn't realize till this point that not only is that button not have a confirmation, are you sure modal, but it defaults when that screen comes up. It grabs your cursor,
Your cursor
steals it,
is
and
put
puts
there.
it over that button. And that
That-
guy's like, we'll stop it from doing that, and that'll be a win. I'm like, bitch, why do you do that anywhere in
This
your
was
whole game?
so intentional.
How on earth? Dude, are you serious? You're telling me that
if
when
you-
you guys are at Blizzard and you're going through and you're analyzing each like user flow and you're looking at the screens, you see a screen and you're like, okay, where do we want their mouse to be defaulted to? We will drag their cursor and put it there automatically. Dude, that is some sick, evil, twisted shit from Blizzard.
Dude, this is how we're gonna get scammed as old people. Is it like our
getting
cursors are
scammed
just
as
gonna be
current
moving
people.
over?
It's current.
We're like, what happened? I can't see the screen.
Where's my
It just happened to
cursor?
a guy who's like a professional streamer on stream because he didn't realize it was going to be there.
Dude, this is the funny thing is too. Blizzard is doing this right, and they're like, "Oh man, we're gonna change it. It was an accident. Sorry."
Oh, our bad.
Fortnite, if you remember, Epic Games got sued like in the
Hard.
last year.
Hard.
And Epic
Yeah.
Games didn't charge $70 for Fortnite before trying to do that too.
Dude, yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. I'm not okay.
Yeah,
I
Epic
like
Games, I'm
battle
like-
passes on free games.
I'm
I
Yeah.
do
slightly
not like
more
battle passes on paid games.
you could be scummy. You could be slightly scummier on your free game, trying to trick me into spending like 5 cents here or there, which is what Fortnite's doing. Like, come on, just a nickel. What's a nickel to you? It's nothing to you. We just need that. We give you this free game. But with Blizzard, it's like you already gave them $70 and they're just like trying to claw at your wallet. And you're like, dude, back off. Can I play this game for 5 fucking seconds? No, give us money.
Yeah, but did you see the battle pass, bro? Oh, look
Did
at
you
this.
play? This is, by the way, this is the button was not for the battle pass. It's for the premium battle pass. What does that fucking mean? Are you
don't know.
serious? So the battle pass is something you pay extra for, and then there's a one where you pay extra for?
Dude,
I
the
hate it. I
Ultra
hate it.
battle pass.
I hate it. People are not spending money in or even playing Overwatch 2.
Oh, this is
All this
rough.
news, and I just got my BlizzCon tickets.
This
What?
was
Oh.
Just
Blizzard.
ignore it. Just ignore it.
Brent,
It's okay. It's gonna
It'll be fine. It'll be
BlizzCon
fine.
will be fun.
It'll be you'll
have a
you'll still
good
have a
time.
great time.
This is coming from an earnings report out of Blizzard, Activision Blizzard, that said, quote, while engagement and player investment in Overwatch 2 declined sequentially in the quarter, the Overwatch team is looking forward to the August 10 release of the Overwatch 2 Invasion, which we've already addressed is going to be a fucking disaster. Quote, this will be the largest seasonal update yet, planned to include a new PvE story missions that no one wants anymore, a new game mode, and a new hero progression system, as well as an additional hero. None of those things sound like they're going to bring people back in. Certainly not that they're going to get them spending money.
Yeah, this game, we knew this game would come in. People would play it because it was free and, check it out. It's Overwatch 2, and then it would die fast. And that's what's happening. They're just going back down to like Overwatch numbers before Overwatch 2 was released.
Yeah,
It's the same game.
with a ton more money invested on this whole thing, because essentially Overwatch 2 is like a rebrand for no reason. And there was a ton of marketing dollars that were poured into this.
And-
I don't know, reading this, it just felt, that clown meme where the guy's just like putting clown makeup on his face slowly. That's what reading this press release sounded
Yes,
like.
dude.
When they're like, it's going to be they're like, hey, everything's been terrible and no one's playing the game, but the guys that are making the game are stoked. And that's like where he's putting on like the white base paint. And they're like, so tell you what, we've got a huge update coming. More of the same shit that people aren't interested in. More of it. And then they're putting on like all the rest of the clown makeup. And he's like, so yeah, there's all this stuff. And we're going to be making way more money at the end of next quarter. And he's like a full ass clown.
Dude, I was dying too, because in the story they're like compared it to PUBG. Like even games like PUBG have like a natural decline in player base, and I'm like, okay, that's true. Like everyone's game declines a little bit, but PUBG is pulling in so much cash still because of PUBG Mobile. They are rolling in cash still, and these guys are like, it's kind of like PUBG.
And PUBG didn't try to come out with PUBG 2.
Yes, they
which
didn't
was the
make a
same
full
game, but worse.
It just
Oh,
feels like
instead of-
they
Go
can't
ahead.
make any good decisions right now at all. So this is just like a total side quip, but even with the BlizzCon thing right now, I bought the tickets for BlizzCon and you get a notification. So you guys have both been. The opening ceremonies is like the big, get everyone hyped up, whatever. You are in a lottery with your tickets to be able to attend the opening ceremonies in person now. Most people have to watch it televised on another stage.
Wait a second. Did they
So randomly
oversell
they're
the
going to take tickets.
then?
No, they're doing it in the Overwatch arena. So they can only have like a few thousand people.
Why aren't they doing it on the main stage?
Well, they just do it how they did it before.
They're like going out of their way to make BlizzCon worse? Why do they?
Yeah. I just felt like it kind of seemed relevant. Like
BlizzCon is the last bastion. Their only fans left are the fuckers, idiots that are going to BlizzCon. No offense, Trent.
Let me guess, they charged you more.
and They're like,
can't
you know
pay
what we
for
should
it.
do is mistreat these guys. Let's just degrade the experience. They're like, hey, the main headline show, yeah, let's do it in a conference room, 12 guys. Uber
Everyone else watch it
exclusive.
on a screen. $300
What
a
the
ticket.
fuck?
Let's go.
Dude, also like you can watch it from home, the same thing. Like, yeah, go ahead, watch it from home. Or you can
Watch
go
it in a hotel
into a
room.
room with a bunch of sweaty nerds and watch it on the
Mm.
screen. Dude, that seems JD's right. That seems like a nonsense decision.
Mhm.
Like
Because Peterson, you've been to opening ceremonies at
Yeah.
BlizzCon. Like, there's that huge floor, which is
big
built
stage.
for the
You're like,
main stage.
What? What?
What
Yeah, I
the
don't
fuck?
understand. This is I
don't
swear,
get it.
like Trent alluded to, every decision they make is the wrong one. I don't know what they're
Even decisions they don't need to make.
where
Like,
should we put
hey,
it?
Where should we put the main stage? The opening ceremonies for the. We should put that on the main stage, right? Like that's not
remotely,
even a
somewhere
question
else.
anyone asks.
No, you know what it is. They're like, we spent so much money on this awesome Overwatch arena, and it's sitting there gathering dust. We're not
Gotta
doing
do
anything with
something
it. We
with
got to
it.
do something. Like, let's do the opening ceremony there. And they're like, hey, listen, excuse me, boss, I can't fit everybody there. It's not big enough. And he's like, well, we got to use it for something. We're gonna use it.
What are we gonna do?
We have it. Let's just use
$50
it.
million for this thing.
It basically is that small too, by the way, because there's 40,000 BlizzCon, or no, there's like 60-something thousand BlizzCon tickets, and the arena only holds 450 people.
So it is like I said, it's like a conference room. There are literal conference rooms that hold that amount of people in like large corporate office parks.
Wow.
That's what they've done for the main stage at BlizzCon.
For the opening ceremonies, yeah.
I
It's
don't
like they
understand these guys.
actively hate their fans.
On a more positive note,
Riblets. Your favorite little meat slabs of news. Not the whole slab, though. Just a little nugget
and a little bony nugget.
hanging on to the end of a broken piece of bone. Riblets are our favorite little nuggets of news. Not enough for a whole deep dive, but enough to wet your palate. First up here, in an unlikely mashup, Final Fantasy XIV is getting a Fall Guys style mini game.
This is bizarre.
Or multiple mini games.
But if you played Fall Guys, it's like these goofy last man standing obstacle
Like Mario Kart
courses.
style.
And
Or not Mario Kart, Mario Party.
yeah, Mario Party. And what better game to do that with than Final Fantasy?
So I gotta tell you, it's
14.
not all that surprising to me.
Glad we got
Because
this context.
Final Fantasy 14, like the game is a very serious tone. Like it has a very serious tone to it. But there's kind of this side theme that's like this weird, goofy, like Asian culture going on where it's like, hey, I know you just fought a dragon. Now let's all go back to the main city and put on hats that have like balloons and unicorns and stuff running around. Like there's parts of the game that thematically don't make any sense. They're just there because someone liked it.
I
Because
just want
someone wanted to make that
Yeah.
happen. Okay.
it.
They were like, you know what would be real fun? We should make like a Fall Guys style thing. And they're like, hey, where would we put this? This doesn't fit anything that we're doing, Square Enix. And they're like, you know what though? Final Fantasy. Just
Will you
throwing
let
this out
Jerry
there.
put in his stupid balloon hats? So I want my fucking Fall Guys game.
They're like, all right. Listen, we'll do it. Why not? What's it gonna
The
hurt
dumb
us?
duck animals that they have running around. Well, what about me? When do I get my part?
When do dude,
I
there's
get a
like,
break.
there's some like early beta looking screenshots of this, and it looks so bad.
Oh, it looks so bad. The game looks so dated already, too.
Yeah. So this is pretty funny.
Nicki Minaj is the next Call of Duty skin.
They're taking a page out of Fortnite's book and just like, I don't know.
Celebrities.
I kind of got the impression initially, and I've talked because they already have Snoop Dogg in this. So
Yeah.
you can go Ice Snoop Dogg, which I guess is like gangster persona fits a little bit. And I guess maybe that's what Nicki Minaj is going for. Part of me is just like, when this came across her desk, her agent was like, "Hey, I have a very strange phone call for you. Would you like to be in Call of Duty?" And she's like, "How?" And he's like, "You would be the skin that everyone runs around and plays as. So people would be shooting me all the time?" She asks. And he's like, "Yeah, people that hate you would be going out of their way to shoot you." And she's like, "Fuck yeah." Fuck
And she
yeah.
was like, "Well, I
Put
don't
me in Call
know."
of Duty.
And they're like, "But Snoop did it," and she's like,
Snoop did it.
I'm
I'm doing
in.
it. There's nothing that Snoop is doing that anyone on their right mind shouldn't also try.
"Snoop does everything."
Do
Yeah.
a cooking
And
show with Martha Stewart.
it keeps
should try to
working.
do that.
It keeps working.
Yeah. Dude, I'm stoked. There were no images of this yet, but I think this sounds sick as fuck. I hope she's short, like Odd Job. What is Nicki Minaj's height in
like,
real life? 'Cause
She's
I think
relatively
she's
short.
Aren't her proportions though like real wacky?
5
like
feet
this
2.
could be real funny.
She's 5'2", so yes, you're gonna have an Odd Job situation here with
Hey,
Nicki
harder
Minaj
to shoot if
operator.
you're short, okay?
That's what I'm
Closer
saying.
to the
dude.
ground.
I just realized I'm making a reference that Jenna was like 3 years old for.
yeah, she's
But,
not there. Jenna,
Shut up.
in the original multiplayer shooter, which is GoldenEye, the big one, right? GoldenEye's James Bond. Odd Job was way too short, and people like when you'd play with your friends, you'd have to be like, "No Odd Job, no Odd Job," because he was
Just a
hard
rule.
to shoot because he was too short. So that's what he's referring to. So we got an Odd Job situation with Nicki Minaj. It's going to be
for her.
ridiculous. I can't wait for the videos.
I hope she just runs up and just knifes people. I just want to see a little Nicki just
freaking
running
Oompa
around
Loompa
knifing
style,
people.
just running in.
And
just
do you
like,
think she
"Tap,
just
tap,
says
tap, tap, tap."
filthy shit while she's doing it? Because that's
Honestly, if she did, that would be
Knifing
really
you.
hilarious.
That's
to
more
watch.
Cardi
you.
B style, I think.
okay. That's fair.
That's true.
That's fair. Next up, Baldur's Gate 3 used quote intimacy coordinators for the game's sex scenes.
Dude,
What?
they
I
are
need help
going
with this.
It's going to be a porn game.
Did they
then,
use
right?
mocap suits? Like, why did they need intimacy?
They're doing
coordinators?
mocap suits, and then the intimacy coordinators are like, "No, fuck like this.
Why don't
No,
you
fuck
turn
it.
this way?
No, but
No,
intimacy
turn your
coordinators
hips
are supposed to
that
make sure
way.
that they're safe.
Yeah.
You're not going to penetrate like that, buddy. You got to get lower." That's what they're doing with the
they're-
people that are mocap acting. They're like coaching. They're like,
Like
fuck
in their
coaching them.
ear. Like,
Oh my
what if you
gosh.
turn to the left a little bit right
Got to
now?
get Baldur's
Yeah,
Gate 3.
Baldur's Gate 3 is going to be the horniest game of the
I-
year.
Like keep seeing stories about it. Like I own this game already, so I'm gonna play it. I keep
So
seeing
if you roll
stories
sex
about it,
game,
and I'm like,
You better hold on to this.
I don't understand what this game is super horny,
So
and
horny.
they like really dove into the horniness too. Like there's Witcher games which are pretty horny. I'm pretty sure they didn't get an intimacy coordinator for Geralt's sex scenes though, but these
Maybe.
ones, I don't
Because
think so.
his aren't sex scenes, they're fuck scenes. Every last one of them. It's
Yeah,
Geralt,
different
come on.
type of coordinator.
Yeah, different coordinator. CD Projekt Red is laying off 9% of their staff. Not an insignificant number. It's about 100 people. Can someone help me with the math on that one? 100
How do they have
Oh,
people left?
people-
is 9% of.
That's about 1,000.
Good lord, that's a lot of
Like
people.
under 1,000. So yeah, that's a big percentage. But JD, if you remember, this is on the heels of them literally announcing like 5 things. Do you remember that? They're like, oh, we're making sequels, we're making
Well, let me-
trilogies.
Oh,
we're
they
making
addressed
a new
that.
game. Don't even worry about that. We got a new game coming out.
They're doing less with more, Peterson. They're doing all 5 games, quote, to meet our own high
heart.
expectations. So they admit they have high expectations and ambitions to create the best role-playing games. We not only want to have the best people, but also the right teams. What we mean is that by having the right teams that are built around project needs, teams that are more agile and more effective. If you are a CD Projekt Red employee, by the way, you are reading this press release at the same time that the rest of us were, because
Oh,
they
wow.
released this as an effort to, quote, be transparent.
I
So
love that.
everyone got this very mealy-mouthed, not very kindly worded email telling people that they are not the right team member if they're getting laid off.
We got to cut the fat.
We gotta cut the fat
Dude.
because we gotta make 5 games, and we're not gonna make it with 1,000 people. We're gonna make them with 900 people, which we probably shouldn't even have 900 people. We probably should have 80 people each on each of those products if you weren't just a bloated, out of control nightmare company right now.
Guys, it's gonna turn into a co-op. Just you wait. It'll be the
Oh,
best.
no.
It'll be the
please.
best.
Dude,
How are
like,
they going to afford? What is whatever Cyberpunk made cut 900 ways?
Still probably pretty good.
Still probably not bad.
Here's the thing, though. This is you reading through this, and this is corporate speak all the way for essentially what you said.
Mhm.
Listen, guys, we don't have anything coming out soon, so we need to do less. We need to do more with less. If you're one of the people that made the cut, I don't know if that's a good thing.
No.
You are
You're going
going
to be working.
you're going to have
twice as hard 'cause we just
rough
fired your
5 years.
Yeah. The person that sits next to you and splits your workload, will we let him go? Because yeah.
Am I going to get paid more now that I'm doing I got like a couple different statement of works now? And they're like, "Dude, paid more? What are you talking about?"
No.
Be more
We're not-
efficient, Peterson.
We're not giving you a promotion, you idiot. We're just telling you to work harder.
In fact, the threat is that you'll be paid less, considerably less, when we let you go next.
In
Ubisoft
fact,
has
don't book this time that we're talking right now. This is off the clock. You need to go clock back in and start working.
You cannot get paid for meetings anymore. Those are those are personal time only. Ubisoft has canceled the sequel to Immortals: Phoenix Rising. Immortals: Phoenix is re-rising.
Just the rebirth, the Phoenix rebirth.
The Phoenix is re-rising. This was in early development, apparently, at Ubisoft Quebec. It was intended to be a franchise. If you guys remember, they did release a DLC after the initial one, which was a Greek gods game. The DLC was focused on Chinese gods, I believe. And the next one was going to be Hawaiian gods. I really like the way they were just kind of randomly jumping around.
Trying to
We can
ride on
appreciate
Moana's
yeah.
tailcoat.
I guess they're going east, technically. East and a little bit south. Southeast is the general direction they're heading.
From where?
From Greece.
From where?
They went from Greece to Hawaii. That's like a kind of a
I don't.
So next
okay.
we're in America.
Yeah.
it's a squiggly line. It's a little Silk Road, but yeah, it doesn't matter. It's canceled.
I don't think the Silk Road went through Hawaii. I'm pretty sure it didn't. I'm not
You get so
great
fixated
historian.
on Hawaii. It got
All right.
there eventually,
They have silk in Hawaii, don't they?
don't they?
I don't actually unconfirmed. How about that? This is actually kind of sad. I didn't play the game, but I remember Immortals: Phoenix Rising was pretty universally
It was fun.
loved. Like
yeah, it was a
people liked
Zelda
it.
clone, and
Yeah.
what everyone thought was going to kick off a generation of Breath of the Wild clones, but it was the only one. It was the only one. This is also the game that was totally got shit canned because the branding, the marketing
yeah.
was changed from Gods and Monsters because Monster Energy Drink is run by a legit just dumb shit. And they had to change it to this name because between Gods and Monsters, this was their second choice. Are you fucking serious? Immortals: Phoenix Rising. Phoenix, Phenix, not even spelled.
That means nothing.
Just call it Immortals.
Yeah, I'll just call it Immortals, which is also kind of a shitty name, but Gods and Monsters. You could have called it Gods and Immortals. I don't know, man. It's so weird. Anyway, it's dead. That's just, it's on the chopping block. It's not Assassin's Creed. They don't really care, which, by the way, Assassin's Creed Mirage is 5 times shorter than Valhalla.
I think
the
that's actually
Vikings
the right
one.
way to go.
That was just crazy. Jenna, you played that one, didn't you?
A little
Yes.
bit, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit, because you can't get through because it's so goddamn long.
They with the last 3, they've progressively made them longer and longer. I mean, you played one, JD. You played Odyssey, or
They're just bloated. I played Odyssey for like 20 hours and didn't feel like I was through 10% of the game.
yeah,
There's just
Yep.
so much stuff going on, and it was cool, and it was fun. But like, it definitely, like, for a certain person like me, I play tons of games. Not only tons of games, but tons of open world games. I love that, and it still managed to burn me out somehow. I don't know how. I don't know like the psychology of it, but yeah, it was overwhelming. It was just too much. I didn't like it. So
this is the
They've-
right way to go.
yeah, they've cut it down.
Feel
The
bad.
Ubisoft lead producer Fabian Solomon was talking to a French YouTuber and just kind of let this slip. I don't think it's really even something they're advertising necessarily, but it's 20 to 25 hours. It's a stealthy. I mean, they're all stealthy, but I think it's a little bit more of a focus because some of them aren't super stealthy. It's set in Baghdad, and you beat this in 25 hours and actually like finish the fucking story, which they're story-driven games.
Yeah,
like the combat is fairly interesting, but really what you're there for is the story should be pulling you through. In the first couple games, it did, and then now they're so long and dragged out. Anyway, so yeah, they finally figured out. And by the way, you make them shorter, they're easier to make and pump them out every year. You idiots. Go figure.
Kudos. Kudos. Kudos.
Kudos. Positivity segment. Yada yada yada. Peterson, why don't you do the redudos?
This is the first time we've talked about this on the podcast. I went and saw Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Never come up before.
We haven't brought that up. It's crazy.
No.
JD
Weird.
says he did kudos on that, like in June. That's I don't remember that happening.
That might as
That
well
was
be
for the
10
first
years ago.
movie. Yeah, that's for the
Peterson.
first movie.
It was he was confused. I'm not.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that was during London time.
So I went and saw Across the Spider-Verse. Okay, this is a redudos. You're right, but I have to double stamp it because this movie is fantastic. This is the Miles Morales animated one.
And you went and saw it in theaters.
Went and saw it in theaters. Yeah, scraping by. It's only in a
Gotta do
few
it.
theaters now. So if you have a chance, you got to
Yeah.
go
I
because
was kind of surprised when you said that because I was like, it's still playing. Is
I
there
had to
dollar
go down to
theaters still?
Kaysville, and is a little local theater. I was actually fantastic. Kaysville Theater. If you ever can
Do
go,
they have
it's a-
someone like on a piano playing the music for you?
Yeah.
Because they don't have like the sound with their theater.
Yeah, and they have people saying all the lines. It was a little different vibe, but
Just like an 80-year-old lady flipping the script, and she's like, wait.
no, it's a great family theater, the Kaysville one, because there were 1,000 little kids there because it's
Okay.
$5 to go see a movie, and then
Smart.
I brought my whole family. We bought
Yeah.
snacks, so drinks, popcorn, and candy,
Yeah.
and it was $25 for all that. It was like nothing.
Dude, surprise
It was
kudos
dirt
to the
cheap.
Kaysville Family Theater. Sounds
Yeah,
dope.
seriously.
It was awesome, and
How many
it's like
screens they have?
I think they had 3.
Oh
and
my
they
god,
maintain it really
That's
well.
cute.
It was
That's
it was
adorable.
fantastic. It's right downtown. It's like old. It looks old school on the outside. Anyway,
Old
but I went
pipe
and
organ.
saw. It's no pipe organ. There was not an organ. I don't know. Actually, I didn't see an organ. That doesn't mean there isn't one. I didn't see it though. No. So I saw Across the Spider-Verse. Guys, the movie is so good. I was telling JD, I love the music in it. It's just like I feel like they do a great job of picking the right like hip hop music for the vibe when he's like going through the city. It's just
But everyone had their own music because, like, when it was the first 10 minutes or whatever, just Spider Gwen, and hers was all just lo-fi.
yeah, with tons of lots of Spider Gwen in this. Like, I swear, like a third of the movie was just her.
Yep.
Right, and so
Sick.
really great. The story's awesome. You know, they're doing like multiverse stuff, which is pretty popular right now, and sometimes it's like hit or miss.
Meh.
This is a hit.
Yeah.
Because they're doing every version of Spider-Man. Every movie that they've made makes an appearance.
They
It's
referenced the
animated.
video game.
And the
There's-
Legos.
There's video game and there's Legos in it. There's a T-Rex Spider-Man. Like, it's awesome.
What'd you think of Indian Spider-Man?
Oh, dude, loved it.
So cool.
So cool. Yeah, I loved. Oh, and Rocker Spider-Man, the British guy. My kids were obsessed with him.
What did he say about the tea?
Toby?
Oh, we don't call it chai tea. We just call it tea.
Yeah, you can't say chai tea. That's like saying TT. Like getting all mad. It's so good, guys. Honest, if you haven't seen it yet, like last chance for real, last chance. Get in there and go see it because it's leaving theaters because there's a lot of good stuff in the theaters right now. So,
This one, I feel like, is one that they'll probably have showings of because it just deserves to be seen in the theater.
so good. Oh, I love
Yeah.
it. And animation style will change depending on what world they're in.
And if
Yeah.
you
Oh
haven't
my
seen the
God.
first one, I am judging you currently.
Yeah, so go watch the first one so Jenna doesn't hate you, and then go watch this so you can enjoy it yourself.
And then you'll be happy.
Trent, you have kudos.
I do. And I don't think I've mentioned this before. And if I have, I'm sorry. But I just was looking at my purchase history, and 17 out of the last 30 days, I've had the exact same meal.
What?
That's not an exaggeration.
Trenton.
Like that doesn't surprise me about you. But that I guess
you
a
have
little
to go
bit
see a
does.
doctor. I know what
Dude,
you're talking about. This is
so-
too much sodium.
No, it's okay. I drink lots.
Trenton, you drink a lot of soda, which has more
No,
sodium.
I'm so hydrated.
buddy.
Doctors
You're-
tell me I'm the most
but your
hydrated person I've
heart
ever seen.
doesn't like you right now.
It loves
That's
me.
been
It's
the
beaten
problem.
healthy.
Tell us
But
about your
this
food
place-
addiction.
So I have this issue. I used to eat Panda Express all the time, but
Uh-huh.
lately, not just Panda, like lately everywhere in this state specifically, chicken tastes like rubber. Like for some reason, I don't know why all the suppliers have just gotten crappy chicken, but it's just like it's all rubbery and disgusting. So
Mm.
Annie and I found this place on DoorDash like a few months ago called Happy Teriyaki, and apparently there's a storefront that I never visited until like 2 weeks ago. But it's out in South Jordan, and it's this spicy chicken bowl, and what I love about it is they're super generous with like the actual chicken. So it's a rice bowl, grilled chicken with this spicy kind of teriyaki sauce on it, and the chicken is like perfect. But what I love about the place is that it's consistent every single time. It's like getting McDonald's. Every single time it tastes the exact same. It's cooked the same way, and it's delicious. It is so good.
Yeah,
I like
it
that.
you know it's funny too because the outside of it looks. I'm looking at the pictures. It looks like the most generic. Like you'd never
Mhm.
just stop by there.
Happy teriyaki, yeah, it just sounds like a
And the
very
picture,
generic,
honestly, the pictures on the website look pretty generic.
uninspired.
But you got the one thing that I was like, oh, that sounds good. Like the spicy chicken happy bowl is what it's called.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And yeah, it does look pretty good. How spicy is it?
It's like for some reason my mind always tries to rate stuff on a cup bop scale. You ever cup bop?
Yeah.
It's just 1 to 10. So yeah,
it's,
that's a
it's
good
like a
scale.
7.5.
Oh, that's pretty spicy.
But it's
And
really
you were
good.
saying you were having that how often?
17 out of the last 30 days.
How's your culo?
How's your butthole?
Oh, I don't have that problem.
Okay.
That's why I asked that question the other day to Jonathan about his spicy food.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Trent
Always good to
doesn't
check.
understand.
My spice tolerance is crazy though. Like it doesn't taste it. Yeah, it's so good.
All
This
right.
does look really good. All these look pretty good. Even the katsu looks good.
I do miss a decent teriyaki place. When I was in Seattle, it was like everywhere. It was like, you want to get
Yaki,
teriyaki?
yeah.
There's 40 places within a mile.
I bet they were
Um,
good.
They were all, Jenna, I didn't find a bad one. They were all
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, and everything here sucks.
I just want my sugar sauce. How hard is that?
How hard is that?
With some
uh,
flavor.
The last one, Jenna and I have Fudos. Lots of good Fudos for TY Fish and Chips. Capital TY Fish and Chips in Sandy, Utah.
I got to look this one up too.
Yeah, you do. This is a Vietnamese chef. He uses sushi grade fish for
That's
his
interesting.
fried fish and chips. He already has another restaurant here in Utah. I don't remember what it's called.
Oh, and it's tempura fried.
Yeah, it's fucking good.
Oh,
so good. I mean, Go ahead, Jenna.
He's also got some fancy fries with his
Mm.
own sauce that they create. And the tartar
Yeah.
sauce was amazing for the fish too.
that actually
Yep.
does look pretty good.
Honey
Yeah.
wasabi.
It's kind of weird because you're like, but I will say it's not that weird because finding good fish and chips here in Utah, in Salt Lake specifically, you're kind of limited. There's Harbor, which you got to pay like $35 for a fucking order of them. And then you'll get like a $35 fish and chips, which is great, but also, Jesus Christ, that's steep. This is like what, Jenna, like $12? You guys are looking at the menu. How much does it cost for fish and chips?
11
Well,
bucks.
Yeah, 11, 12 bucks.
Better than Harbor's. It's the best. It's the best fish and chips Jenna and I have found in Salt Lake. I think
Huh.
it's the best that you can get here in Utah.
All the reviews, so I'm reading reviews now. This is how deep I'm going. And everyone keeps talking about the tartar sauce.
It's weird because you're like tartar sauce. It's just like it's just show. That's like freaking out about the ketchup that someone has on their fries. Which, by the way, ketchup is amazing. the ketchup that he has on his fries
Yeah.
is fucking
Yeah,
What
it
an
seems like-
interesting like fusion concept, though. This is fish and chips with Japanese.
Yup. It makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who
does.
else should be frying fish?
Huh.
They have much to teach us.
I would definitely eat here.
TY Fish and Chips, Sandy, Utah. It's not close to a freeway, like fucking at all.
So you gotta
It's
this is a
Sandy,
trip.
so you
You're
knew
making a
that,
trip here
because I said Sandy, and you're like, yeah, no freeways. But yeah, check it out. It's way good. If you like fish and chips, you got to get there.
Okay.
We heard about you in the alpha.
This is one of our longer intros.
You in the beta. You were a hot mess early access. So we put you down for
You gotta lick the mic here.
Who's on the guitar?
Time to revisit.
I played this one.
Yeah, JD.
Revisiting hours
Get him on
of
drum.
the year.
Actually, lick it.
Okay, revisiting hours. You're all welcome for that. We're gonna do longer and longer bumpers until the whole podcast is just bumpers.
we got 2 segments because the bumpers are each 9
You
minutes
just do an
long.
intro.
That's how we do.
Stairway to Heaven kicks in, and you're like, well, this could be a long bumper.
Revisiting hours is when we go back to a game we've talked about on the podcast previously, or that we've been playing for a long time, and there's been some updates, some changes, because games are just changing all the time now, and it's only fair that we go back and revisit those. And
Let's talk about it again.
Jenna, because I feel like you end up on the PSVR when I'm like just checked out on some other game somewhere, and you're like, what am I gonna do? But Jenna's
Well, I
been
get
playing.
jealous, you know?
Yep.
Like, he's having fun. I want to have
I'm gonna have
fun.
more fun.
Jenna booted up the PSVR and has been playing Pistol Whip and was delighted to see that they've updated the game. So tell us all about what's new in Pistol Whip, Jenna.
Yeah, so I actually played this when they initially updated the campaign. They added 2 campaigns that you can play through with scenes and everything in between each level, which is really fun. However, I was frustrated playing it because I felt like when you, for example, would go hit a guy, which is your pistol whip move, the guy wouldn't die and you would just get hit by him. And there were just like some kinks to it. I think that when they released the update, it just didn't made it pretty difficult to play, even though I've been playing the game for a good amount of time.
Yeah.
And so I just ditched it because I was like, whatever. But I recently decided to look at it again, and I was like, holy crap, they added so much more stuff than I realized. There's a party mode now, which is local. So you can keep track of your high scores with your friends and compete with each other on that. So I haven't tried that out yet, but it looks super fun.
So you can
There's
swap the sweaty headband back and forth so it never dries.
Yes, perfect.
Like
And then
that.
just really rub your eyeballs into the
So someone it's
glass.
already when it's handed to you, it's already fogged up and warm.
Yeah, perfect.
Love party
Best
mode.
way. A little
So
bit wet.
party like. And so yeah, I've got some more guns now, a few more new tracks, which they drip those every now and then. But what I was really happy to see was they improved the UI and the tracking and all these like little things that makes the game feel so much more smooth now. It's way super fun. I actually, before the podcast, had to suck myself out of the Matrix in order to make it to this episode because I was like sweating and getting so hard into it. But yeah, basically like at the bottom of the frame before it would keep track of like how many times you've been hit or whatever, but it wouldn't move with you. And so it was really hard to keep track of that unless it was within the frame. So now that stays lower. So it's kind of out of your way and it moves with you when you look. In the past, it was really difficult to turn your head and shoot some guy if you missed him, but now you totally can. And it's super smooth. They can also shoot you back, so that's the downside of that part. And then they got super creative with all these additional elements. So you got guys riding on horses now. You got barrels that can explode. Guys with huge shields, and then these big level bosses that are like super hard to fight and make it way more exciting because there's just like way more stuff going on the screen, which is important why they added the UI update, because it's a lot easier to keep track of everything going on when it's really smooth and not like all jumbled up. So yeah, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to all the hard work these developers have been putting into this game, and they've got stuff in the future planned out. I think even some point this year they're going to release the ability to create your own levels, so you can put your own tracks and levels together. And so I think that'd be really cool to see in the future as well. So I'm just stoked with what they're doing, and I hope they keep doing it.
Just in case everyone, if you haven't seen Pistol Whipper, you're not familiar with this is an on rails VR shooter, right, Jenna?
Yep.
So it's just moving you along through the level. Go ahead.
I forgot one of the coolest part, because like the whole atmosphere of this game is you feel kind of like a secret agent, almost like John Wick kind of style. And so they have campaigns and sorry, not campaigns, bounties. So daily, or not daily, but I think they regularly update them so you can cash in on bounties.
Oh, that's cool.
So,
I got a certain guy in a level you want to kill.
Yeah, like they have certain challenges and stuff that you have to do that they regularly update. So I thought that was also really fun.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're updating this so regularly, or like as much as robustly as they have. This definitely, because it's been out for years. Like I remember you and I took it when we like went up to Sun Valley like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
And to think that they're still just chugging away, working on putting out new content, I think that is really cool.
Like some of it even almost sounds like they should have made like a sequel, right? Like that's crazy. They're putting out so much stuff,
and
that's
for
awesome.
free. This is all free.
Yeah, they actually are going to release like I guess a different one for the new PSVR. But that anyone that already has the game is going to get the update for free anyway. So
what?
Yeah. So I'm really curious to know what that's going to look like too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, anything else on the way out the door?
No, that's all I think. I hope.
Okay, cool. Let's move on.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. The first impression rose. First impression rose. Oh my god. The first impression rose.
First impression rose is this segment we do when we have just been on a brief date, just a brief first date with a game. We've just taken it out for a walk around the park. Nice public space. Lots of areas where you can just, you're not feeling it, you can just bolt in a dead sprint
Anytime.
in any direction. Does not fucking matter. And people are going to see you sprinting and you're in a park and they're going to be like,
going for a jog.
No worries. That is a key first date right there, folks. And Peterson recently took a game called Patch Quest to the park to walk around and hope that Patch Quest does not flee in desperation.
Yeah, so let's see. Patch Quest. First off, this is like possible Blurstein nomination for worst name. This
I like it.
It's a terrible name for this game, but
for the game. Okay, that's funny.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense in the game, but it's not what you think. Anyway,
I'm thinking like a cutesy game. It's like a cute little RPG where you play as a cat named Patch.
Nope. You're so close, but it is kind of cutesy. You got that aspect of it, but this is a like a bullet hell roguelite, and it's called Patch Quest because the world has broken apart, and you are patching it back together. And so it has nothing to do with it.
Blorf.
But so I will describe the game because on the surface, this game sounds like exactly what I want. And in a way it is. So you start off on like your home base, just your main screen. Then you can head any of 4 directions. And so I will actually, at first you can only start off one direction. The other ones are locked. You got to go unlock them by just like finding that place. And you just follow the board. So you go left and then it goes to a new board on the left. And then you just, usually in these types of games, you have to defeat the board and then you can move again, like an Undermine.
Yeah.
This one you can just walk through everything if you wanted to.
Doesn't
but
close down each like room.
it doesn't close it down. You can just keep going. It's a path, and it's a little bit of a Metroidvania because when you go back, their guys will show up again. So what you do is you go through, and you've just got a little. It is a twin stick shooter, so you're moving with your left thumb and your right thumb. You're aiming where you're shooting. So I don't love those. Those are kind of hard. Although this one did feel pretty intuitive, pretty good. So I can't complain about the combat. But how it works is you go through and you've got you're just a regular gun. It's actually like a water gun. You're shooting these guys with water. I think they're trying to keep it kind of cutesy. So these enemies will pop up and there's some kind of like bug or turtle or something, and you're shooting it with this water and they're zipping around trying to kill you. And then as you go through, you're picking up different modes for your guns. There's a shotgun version, there's automatic version, and you can carry 3 at a time, but they are limited. So you use shotgun mode, you only have so many shots, right? You can use it, I don't know, maybe like 40 shots, and then it runs out. One of the cool things about this is you can, if you unlock in the skill tree, if you have 3 different weapons on you, you can combine them into like a mega weapon. It doesn't have a lot of shots, but it's going to do a buttload of damage. So you get in a boss fight, and you can just like use mega weapon to just melt them pretty well. But the thing that makes this different, which is like, dude, I got to play. It sounds so fun. You get mounts, and how you get a mount is you have a lasso, and when bad guys show up, you actually pull your lasso out and you lasso them, and then you have to like walk around them. You're like tying them up essentially, and then
I'm watching this right now. This is so funny.
Once you've got around it, you're riding it. Now you're riding that thing, and the more you ride a certain mount, you will unlock their abilities. So they have abilities as well, which are pretty cool. Like you find which mounts you like, and then you're like, the new mount, I got to go get it. So it's like a lot to unlock in this game. It's very chaotic. The screens are chaotic. There's like so much crap happening
going on,
and you're just zipping around, and like you'll walk by a bush and there'll be a bad guy in the bush and he hops out and you're fighting again. So on the surface, it really did seem like I was gonna love this game, and in some regard I did. Like I played it for like 3.5 hours and had a pretty good time, right? I didn't hate it. I wasn't like obsessed with it, because when I put it down, because I was like, I had to log off or whatever. When I put it down, I was like, I had no desire to pick it back up.
So you made it back to the parking lot at the park, and you were just like, that is it.
Like I had a good date. It was fun.
We need to run.
Yeah, we talked. I had a good time, and then I left. I got home and I was like,
that's
I
it.
don't know. It was fine. Like
That's
whatever. I'm not
not gonna
super into it. I could see someone getting like sucked into this game for maybe 8 to 10 hours. I'm sure people, I mean, there's a game for everybody, right? Person for every game. But yeah, this just wasn't my game.
How did you come across this again? Sorry.
It's just one of those, how Steam is like, I know what you like, and I'm going to recommend this game to you every time you look at the store. It's one of those. Like it was always popping up. And so it was actually on sale.
It was the only non-porn game it was suggesting to you?
Yeah, it was like,
It was in Baldur's Gate.
there's no nudity in this game. You might be able to play it.
Maybe.
But yeah, I'm like looking at the reviews, and nobody's played it for more than like 15 hours on the reviews. it just seems like that type of game that you get in and you're playing like, this is pretty fun. Like, this is a great time. It seems like a Game Pass game. And then you're just kind of like, yeah, I'm done. Like, I'm done with it. It was great. It played well. It was interesting because you like the mount thing was interesting. Your mount can die, and then you got to go rope a new one, unlocking all these boards and this path. And when you die, you go back to square one essentially, and then you got to like go back through and discover stuff. Lot to discover, lot to unlock, lot to uncover. But for some reason, just didn't get its hooks into me. I thought it would, at least for like 15 hours or so, one of those games where you're just like get sucked into for a couple days. I like Wall World or something like that. I thought it would suck me in.
Was so good.
But it just didn't, so I can't recommend Patch Quest. I think you should look at it and see if you're into it.
How much was it?
I'm trying to look right now. It's $15. I swear I got
You
it
did
for
not
like
pay $15 for this.
No. I absolutely did not. I got
No
it on during
fucking
the
way.
summer sale, and I think it was like very, very on sale. Which is why I just was like, finally, I'll buy it. But yeah, this is honestly not a $15 game. This is a $5 purchase. So
That's funny.
yeah. So I'm not gonna recommend it. It's not a bad game, but I'm not gonna recommend it.
Cool. Let's move on.
Dice of Destiny.
Okay, Dice of Destiny is this game we play at the end of every episode. We roll a 6-sided dice to see who will be responsible for rolling the Dice of Destiny itself. A 20-sided dice with 20 different game genres assigned to it. Then that person rolls a 6-sided dice to find out what budget they have, and then they need to go find a game in that price for that genre for that price. Pick it, play it, review it. We've had a couple. We have two today. We have 2 reviews tonight for you. Trent will go first because he owes us a review for his Bullet Hell for like $30 a couple weeks ago. What Bullet Hell did you pick, Trent?
I picked Neon Abyss. And what I'd given for my reason for picking it was because it had really pretty colors on the cover art.
Yep.
So
That's
Nice.
we know what we were getting into there.
Called Neon Abyss.
But Neon Abyss is a bullet hell roguelite. So for starters, that was already kind of a struggle for me. I suck at roguelites because I just get so frustrated so quickly that I have to start over so much. So anyway, with this one, you start out, you're a guy named Wade, and you start out, you're speaking with Hades in a bar. There's no context. You're just sitting on a couch talking to Hades, and he says, "The Titans stole my powers and they killed your family. Do you want revenge?" And he hands you this glass of like neon blue glowy shit, and you drink it and you drop into the abyss to go get revenge on the people that killed, or the Titans that killed your family.
Fuck yeah.
So anyway, it's got some super, like the colors, like I said, they match the box art. They're awesome. It's super bright, vibrant, like purples, yellows, blues, all that jazz.
Oh my god.
And
This looks crazy.
there are a ton of guns and power-ups and everything. Like, as far as that goes, this game is an absolute blast. You get a new gun every, 5 minutes or so.
Mm-hmm.
It's like any of these games, you go through a sequence of 3-4 levels, get to a boss fight. Every couple of levels, there's a store. It's called the Bar, and you can buy weapons if you see something that you particularly like. The weapons function kind of in a unique way where the weapons have their main ability, but then they each have a power-up that can be used by a currency you have called a crystal. So you earn crystals throughout the level, and you can spend those crystals to use your weapon's power-up. So one of them, a power-up would be like, it was called a light diamond. And when you use that weapon's power-up, it surrounds you by an immunity shield. So it gives you temporary immunity, but you can't use it that much. And then you also have pets. And this, if you ever played Yoshi's Story, this totally reminded me of like a little side-scroller version of that. You get these eggs, and they follow you around, and they just randomly hatch. And you can have a stream of, 5 or 6 eggs behind you. And they hatch, and the pets that you get have like random little power-ups, like they'll heal you or do extra damage. And then the third type of thing you get is your your actual power-ups, they come in the form of like hats or masks and change the way your character looks. And they're stackable. So when you get new items, it adds to the old ones. So some items give you like a double jump. Some will give you rapid fire, and they stack as you keep going. So it gets really crazy the further you get into these playthroughs. The bosses at the end of each level are new gods. So they're not the titans that Hades is referring to. They're new gods. So like one of the gods is there's Tick or there's Talk, and they're the gods of, it's like new internet video, where mobile video. They're the gods of mobile video. So it's like jokes on current things. Like there's Sam and
I like
Sung are the
that.
gods of screens.
Oh my god,
Nice.
that is funny.
And then after you get through a bunch of these new gods, you get through 5 of them, and you get to a manager. And managers are the actual gods. Like Ares is the god of. He's not called the god of war, but it's the same type of deal. God of violence.
The god of defense.
Yeah. And so like I said, I suck at these games. So I have not made it. I've played it for about 6.5-ish hours. But I've fought 2 of the managers.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's really fun. If you like those kinds of games, it does reward you pretty quickly. Like it starts to stack up. There's lots of fun weapons. The items are super, super fun and interactive. I liked it, but overall, if you're like my type of gamer, I would say try it, wait for a sale.
Yeah. How much did you get it for? Do you remember?
It was $20.
Ooh, yeah.
That seems like a lot.
That's pretty
Yeah.
steep for any bullet hell, in my opinion.
Yeah,
That's
well,
gonna
this
set
is-
a really high bar.
This is like a
Watching the gameplay on this, I'm like, I wouldn't spend more than 10. Like, there's no way this is worth that.
yeah. This looks like a $10 game. It does look fun. Like it
Yeah,
looks like
for
I would
sure.
actually kind of
Looks tight.
enjoy it, and the music looks dope.
Dude, I'm bummed. Trent, I was hoping you find a bullet hell that would change your tune, but better luck next time.
It was fun.
we get you.
Yeah.
Try Bloody Hell. It's free.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
doing it.
that's one Jenna loves.
It's a Metroidvania too.
I have my review for a game that I thought I might need more time on, and I picked it up just this week. And I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna have enough time this week. I've already put 20 hours in this
He
week.
can't stop. He can't stop.
Literally got me to stop playing Zelda, which I thought no game other than Zelda ending would be able to do that. But I rolled a $20 2D game. I didn't need $20. I only needed 10 in order to play Coromon, Coromon. Coromon sounds like Pokemon, but it isn't. But it is. Because Coromon is essentially Pokemon for millennials who don't want to play the new Pokemon games, but they want a new Pokemon game. Honestly, Trent, you got to get this. I don't know if it's on your wish list.
I was watching it before we started.
Instantly wish list this shit. It honestly is so crazy for me. It's like if you played nothing but the first Pokemon games on your Game Boy, maybe the second generation as well. And then you just put down games and you didn't touch video games until you picked up this one 20 plus years later. You'd be like, oh, cool. This is the third Pokemon game. Like, it is so lovely how much of a homage it seems to play to the original Game Boy handheld Pokemon games, while at the same time makes a ton of really thoughtful updates that improve just the experience in general, to the point that it takes it from, oh, I love Pokemon, this is really cool and nostalgic, to like, this is all of that and so much more, because it's a really enjoyable experience that isn't inhibited by all the bullshit that came with the original Pokemon games, which, it wasn't necessarily bullshit as much as it was like technical limitations. But just off the top, a couple things that were really, really cool to me. You're in a battle. The Pokemon battles look exactly the same in this, except for you can put your cursor over, or just like D-pad over to the opponent's name badge, and you can see all the details. You can see, how you guys all know in a JRPG where you can, or in Pokemon specifically, where you can use skills that say lower their accuracy. So it's like, oh, you lowered your opponent's accuracy, and then you lowered your opponent's accuracy, and you don't really see it or know anything about it. You just know that you've done it, and you're like, does that even do anything, or should I just be doing attack moves every single time because I don't really see the impact? Well, with this one, it shows those little points. So I just got done before we got on this episode fighting this huge boss, and I actually used the moves that lowered his defense. And I could see when I highlighted his little profile, not only his type weaknesses, which is huge, so you don't have to memorize every single Koromon's type weakness. You can just see, oh, this is what they're weak to. But you can see how much you've lowered their damage, how much you've lowered their defense, how much you've lowered their speed. And those types of things make the game a lot more fun and tactical.
I like that a lot.
Than the original Pokemon, which where you were just kind of playing guesswork, or if you're really smart, you could do the math on your own, but like you really didn't know what was going on. The math that the game itself was doing behind the scenes, you can see in this game. It's all up front. Tons of really robust details on all the data that's going on in evolving and upgrading your Pokemon. So not only, Trent, every time you upgrade, you leveled up a Pokemon one level, you'd see all its stats go up like a point or two.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have a secondary experience bar. So you have your levels. So 1, level 2, level 3. And then there's a secondary experience bars that goes for your, that gives every time you level that up. And it's a different amount. So it takes like 1,500 for this one, as opposed to like 500 for the regular levels. You get 3 skill points to assign as you want. So sometimes you get those at the same time you level. Sometimes you get those in the middle before your character has levels.
That's fun.
But it's really nice because you get to customize every Koromon just how you want, or find the weak points that they have. Catching Koromon is a lot more fun. There's this really cool thing where you can in this game, and this was something they introduced in the second generation of Pokemon games, your Koromon can hold items, which adds this unique element to the game because you can have items that they automatically activate during battles, or just held items that activate, for certain, there's items that you can hold that wild Pokemon don't appear if your first Koromon's like holding that item. But what's really cool is when you're battling wild Pokemon, they too can be holding these random items. And so you're like, cool. Well, I see this wild Pokemon using this really valuable item that I can either use for myself or sell because it's really high value. So what do? I battle that Pokemon. I catch it. And it gives me experience for that, which is just a nice little bonus. When I catch it, instead of just sending it away and I have to go back and find it later and then get the item off of it, at that very moment when I've caught the new Koromon, I can just go through, see all of its stats. Like I said, just incredibly robust data on everything about this. I can take the item and just put it in my pocket, and then I can just release that guy back into the wild. Be like, yeah, I caught you. I recorded your data. I'm not going to use you. I'm not going to fill up a box with all this stuff, but I do want that item. I'm going to take that and send you off. You basically can just do whatever you want. It's so nice. There's things like in the Pokemon games, you get like running shoes and bicycles, things that allow you to move faster. This one, nope. Just hold the button. You can sprint. Right from the beginning, you can sprint. So when you're going back and forth in this game, grinding, which you do, it's not annoying. It's not like the super slow walk across the map.
What is the Pokeball? Is it like a boomerang?
It's a spinner. So it's like a 3-tiered. Yeah, it's like a boomerang with an extra little thing. And so it's like, that's the thing. You can tell all the things they tried to do to be just slightly different from Pokemon. But at the same time, it was such an homage that they're like, we're not trying to be all that different. Like, we will make there are moves that are the same move. There are a lot of things that are very much borrowed or ripped or lifted wholesale from these not current Pokemon games. If you are a current fan of Pokemon games, this would be unrecognizable to you. As a Pokemon game, you'd be like, well, that's a weird, what is that? Like a weird JRPG kind of retro type game. And but it is because it is very much rooted in those first 2, maybe 3 generations. There's checkpoints. There's an instruction manual within the pause menu. So if you're like, wait, what does this actually do? I forgot. You don't have to go back to some guy who explained it to you one time, some NPC. It's all there listed in your little pause menu. There's a couple dumb puzzles. Same thing like Pokemon. There's a couple dumb puzzles. But yeah, I just think it's kind of weird. I've been happy. One thing I've noticed that I haven't seen since I played Pokemon on those, I'm happy to grind. I'm happy to just go into an area and fight wild Coromon. That's all I did today for like 3 hours was grind for a boss. And it's so dumb. You know, Trent, how mind-numbing grinding Coromon or Pokemon is. It's just especially when you've beaten all the trainers and you're like, all I can do is just grind now.
Especially in the old ones, when you're like, who do I have to have start the battle?
Yes.
Rotate through them. And
So I'm glad you brought that up, Trent. There's a cool item you can have your Coromon hold called a lazy gem, and they just get experience in every battle. I didn't get that handed to me or anything. I just caught that off a wild Pokemon. I was like, what is this thing? And then I just handed it to one of my Pokemon. It has been one of the most powerful and impactful items in the game. And I haven't seen another one. So they're like crazy rare. And there's these things you can just snatch off of what. So just catching Pokemon you're incentivized to do it. Like everything that as like a little 10-year-old when I'm playing this game, playing Pokemon Blue on my Game Boy Color, everything that bugged me, everything I was like, I wish I could do this. I wish there was that. It seems like every single thing was thought of and done. Even in the amount of Trent, what would you say? I hand you this game and you've heard this whole description and you're like, okay, JD, I can carve out 30, 40 hours to play this, but I don't want to be overwhelmed with way too many Coromon, or I want it to be a healthy amount. In the original Pokemon games, it was 150. In the second generation, they added another 100, which put it at a clean 250, which is like, okay. It's at like 900 now. Trent, what would your number be for this? Ideally.
like 300 or 400.
Okay. That's a bit over what it is. It's 114, which I thought was
It's
perfect.
like classic Pokemon, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yes. It was so low. Without playing this game, the hundreds of hours that I have Pokemon, I think I will know all of them. I think I'll get to know all 114.
Baby, you already do. Let's be real.
Can you
already
wrap them
there.
up?
I'm like sitting with him and he's like, it's an electric type. Like he's saying all this stuff that I'm just like, you already know this game way too well. Like
I was telling her
It's too
all
soon.
about this new one I caught named Bitty Bolt, and he evolves into Thorbolt, but I won't get into it.
Wow.
Even just the sound design, and I have this as our outro music, the battle music, but the sound design is very on point. It's very Pokemon. It's just, if you guys liked the originals, don't walk, run. It's $20, but I think it goes on sale for $10 all the time regularly. I think it just went on sale for the summer sale or whatever. So put it on your wish list. But honestly, if this is a game that you're like, well, maybe I'll play it later. Like, if you liked those games, just do it now. It is.
I need a bed game. I'm gonna get it on my Switch.
Yes. It's. Wait, is it on the Switch?
It is. I just looked.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh,
Nice.
So that's a game change right there. Oh, that's a game change. So yeah, if it's on the Switch, then you have no excuse. The Switch or the Steam Deck. This is so perfect. Like Trent said, it's a good bed game because you can just put your thing down and walk away from it in the middle of a battle. Nothing's gonna fucking happen because it's like the old
This is the
Pokemon games.
best.
It's so
Oh my
funny
God.
that you did this now because I've been playing just on a tablet in bed, like Pokemon Masters EX. I'm like, I want Pokemon something right now.
This will slap for you, I think, and I want to hear your feedback. I think you can battle people online too.
It
I
did
didn't know-
say you can do
There's a
that.
menu
Yeah, I
option,
read that.
Yeah, I don't have any desire to, but I do think that's the level of how robust this is it definitely tries to feel like the original Pokemon games. I am so delighted with this. All I do is think about this game now. I spend the whole weekend
That is true.
getting up at like 6 a.m. so I could go work in the yard until I got too hot. And then I could convince my brain to not feel guilty when I played video games for 8 straight hours. It's too hot to work outside. I already put 3-4 hours in
I
the
did
yard. I
some
got up
work.
early. I put in work. Dog, it's time to play games for 8 straight hours and not feel guilty about it.
That's right.
This game's got me by the brainstem. Check it out. It's Coromon. Apparently, it's on the Switch. It's on Steam. Well, shit, Trent. Where else is it? Where else can you get Koromon? Let's see, Koromon.com, Steam, Google Play. Fuck, you get this on your phone, dude.
It's so crazy.
You can get this on the deck. You can get this on Android. You can get this
Switch, Android,
on
iOS,
Apple.
Windows, Linux.
So yeah, you have a Mac. You're a Mac gamer. You can play this. There's no excuse not to play this. Check this out, Koromon. It's dope. It's $20. You need it. All right, that means we've got a new reroll. I am gonna find us a 4-sided dice, which is Peterson's favorite.
I have
type of
one.
dice. Do you want to roll it?
I got one. Yeah, right here. This
Okay.
stupid pyramid dice. I hate
He
the four-sided.
loves pyramids.
It doesn't roll. It just like drops where you put it.
Just
So-
throw it
spin
really
like
high.
a dreidel.
Oh,
Okay.
wait, we didn't assign anything. I already rolled it, but we didn't assign anything.
Well,
Okay.
why don't you try again? Why don't you
Okay.
assign?
This is for who's gonna play. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
For the first one.
I'll be
Yes.
1, Jenna's 2, Trent is 3, JD's 4. Okay. Here we go. Rolling this stupid dice.
Hates it so much.
We got a 1. That's me.
Yay, Peter!
What's it gonna
Peter
be?
won.
All right. All right. Here,
Are
I
you
got
gonna
a
roll your own
D20.
dice?
I got a
Okie dokie.
D20 right here. Here we go.
Okay.
You get the list up?
19.
Come on, sex game.
19.
15.
Damn it. It is Peterson's all-time leading category since the beginning of this podcast.
It's
What
not
is it,
horror.
Peterson? It's horror.
Oh my god!
I don't know how you keep managing to roll
is
it. You've rolled it 200
bizarro.
times. It's
I
very
think honestly,
strange.
I've done horror games 4 times now.
we completely redid every single thing on the Dice of Destiny recently, and you still managed to find and roll horror,
I
which has been sitting there
like
for
the
God knows
chances
how
of
long.
this are pretty low.
Very
Um,
thin. But
all
that's
right,
okay because there's a sound clip I meant to get together. I'm putting together a secret sound clip for when you eventually roll 19,
Oh, the
and then
sex.
we can hit it. We can play that when you roll the sex game.
Okay,
And you got $50 you can spend on this horror game.
50 bones horror game.
Ooh, okay. Did you put that on the doc? I can put it on the doc. Peterson rolls a $50 horror game for the 50th time.
Dude, that's so crazy. I don't even like horror games. Like this is
You
the-
love
it-
horror games.
they want me. The universe wants me to like horror games.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you will this time.
I mean, there's been a few good ones that I've liked. I've actually played some great ones, but it's just weird that it keeps wanting me to do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, here we go.
All right, dude. Well, that sounds good. Peterson should have that game picked out for us next week and a review for us the week after that. Play us out. We've got the battle music from Koromon. Tell me this isn't exactly. Did you put it on the. Are we going to be able to listen to it?
I didn't put it on the thing.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, we'll just pretend we're listening to it, and everyone can be like, "Wow, that does sound exactly like Pokemon music." You way to go, JD. You nailed it. There's like just like Pokemon. Sounds just like a Pokemon.
Wow, it does. I'm actually listening to it right now anyway. It sounds
Yeah.
just like Pokemon.
yeah,
Thanks,
I was
Trent.
listening to this. Where you're
Thanks,
at.
guys. Thanks, buddies.
What an amazing soundtrack.
Way to go, JD. You did a good job on this episode.
High five.
buddy. Well, thanks. I'm JD logging off.
This is Peterson going AFK.
This is Trent signing out.
This is Jenna. See you later.
All right.
That
And
was good. We did keep it short.
128.
Well, you got to cut 4 minutes off for the intro.